Um, I guess probably from the outside it might seem that way, but we've also answered some nice questions, and we feel like we've seen a lot of guys like in this series. Some guys have had opportunities. Obviously, it is an opportunity lost for somebody else today to put their hand up and so on. But we still feel, even though we've won most of the games quite comfortably, it's been a good exercise for us.
The openers slots, the fact that you've tried different combinations for the openers in white cricket, what do you think of that?
Look, we think that obviously we know that Quinny and Hashim has been a fantastic opening pair for the Proteas for a long time, and then we also know that Reza Hendricks and Markram have also been very good in franchise cricket. So we wanted to, obviously with Hashim injured, we wanted to see how they go, and we also wanted to, because one of them is going to one of them were opening and one were batting at 3. We thought it would be a good opportunity to change that up and see how they go in their more familiar position. The wickets at the start of the series, especially in one-day cricket, were a bit tough for batting. So from that point of view, we didn't really get to see as much as we would have liked. But we know where we are with those two. We think that those two are very good players and are definitely in our thoughts. So from that point of view, it's been a good exercise. Yeah, look, it's early season and you don't want to be too harsh on groundsmen, obviously. But from the players' point of view, it's obviously disappointing because whilst we're creating opportunities, we still need to have decent facilities to play on the 2 wickets. In Kimberley, and I guess a place like Kimberley where you probably only have 1 game a year, so you got one opportunity to get it right, and they probably didn't do it as well as they could. But in saying that, it's always been a good facility. Last year we got 280 for none in Kimberley, so they've obviously had some challenges in the winter, and that can happen, I guess. And the wicket in Bloom actually looked a good wicket. But it always looks good until you play on it, and then when we played on it, I guess with Dale had his tail up as well that night, and some kept low, some bounced, which is not what you want, especially when you're trying to stick a claim for a place in the team. I think there are a lot of guys that we've got in our thoughts that will be in that team, obviously in that squad to Australia. Obviously, Hashim is injured, so he's out of that already. I think as a selection group, we've discussed that with him already. So we're going to give him as much time as possible to get himself ready for the next set of cricket that he's got coming up. So he's not going to be considered for that. And I guess we'll sit down tomorrow, hopefully, with the selectors and discuss all the other guys and the sort of squad that we want, and for the last 12 months, we've been looking at players, and then in the next sort of couple of months, the window is closing, and the players upstairs have been told that already as well. So the window is closing all the time, and we're getting closer and closer to the guys that we want on the journey, And I've said it before, I think, in the press that in the next sort of the Pakistan and Sri Lanka series, then we really want to be focusing on the hopefully, I think in the last 12 months we've seen about 34, 35 players in that Pakistan series, and certainly in the Sri Lanka series. You're talking about 17 or 18 people that we'll be looking at. Look, we feel so. We think we know what we want, and what we've been trying to do for the last while is to find the personnel that fits what we're looking for. In our minds, we know what we want. I think when you're thinking about a World Cup, you're thinking about England in May. We sort of understand what sort of combinations we want, and what we've been trying to do is just to find the personnel that fit, that has a profile that fit the sort of roles that we have, and the sort of formula that we have that we believe will be successful in England. Yeah, well, look, he's been with us now for, I imagine, it feels like the last 12 months he's been with us, and in both Tests and One Days, and we like him, and he's somebody that obviously we've got a very keen interest in, and that's why he's been in the squads. Like I said, we're with regards to the Australia, I don't want to give too much away here because I don't want to speak out of turn. We haven't actually sat down and finalized it yet, but I'm sure that his name will be very much in the picture looking at Australia. He bats four for the for the Titans and does very well. He can bat anywhere. To me, he can bat anywhere in the top six. So that will be a position that a role that he would fill anywhere in the top six. Yeah, no, it's very good. It's very good for us. It's obviously very good for him. And I said it before again that with Morris, it is not so much his cricket because we know when he's fit what he can do when he's doing it now, and that's obviously very good for him and good for us. And his name will certainly be in the picture. He's never been. I don't think he's been dropped since I've been here. He's been injured more than anything else. I don't think we've ever left him out for bad performances, but he played at the end of the summer last summer, and then he went to the IPL and got injured, and we just thought, let's give him some time to do exactly what he's doing now in franchise cricket, and that gives us an opportunity to get a fit Chris Morris, who we know can produce performances like he's producing now.
I know it's a difference with the Super League.
That's the thing, I think with the Super League, and especially in Rassi's case, he's been performing well around the world, and I guess the convener will have up his sleeve, if you're thinking about a Ryder Cup, he might have a wild card pick, and there's always an opportunity for somebody to put themselves in the picture that might not normally be in it at the moment. If Rassi or whoever else goes and really tear up the Super League with performances, then it might make that person hard to ignore going forward. So there's still an opportunity if you've not played it this season. There's still an opportunity to do that in franchise cricket. We've picked people out of franchise cricket. Robbie Frylink's been picked out of franchise cricket. We have to, as selectors, we have to respect the franchise system. And if there's a guy that's performing very well in franchise cricket and is deserving of a place, and there's a hole, there's a gap in our team, then that person, as you've seen with Robbie, like I said before, that person will I'm quite sure, get an opportunity. Yeah, well, it's good. I think it's exciting, like you said. The thing is, for me, is that, for the last 12 months, we have been trying to identify players, and when you've identified those players, then you must start to play them. So Rabada and Gide's done very well. Tahir, we wanted to see other players, so we've given him time off. He's come back and he's shown us why he's our number one. So he's come back and bowled really well. He's mentoring Shamsi, which is obviously very good for Shamsi. We got high hopes for Shamsi as well. And then for me, the real exciting thing is I sort of know what Rabada and Gidi will do. The real excitement for me was watching Dale Steyn bowl in Bloom, in this, I think it was the second game, which is fantastic to see him back to that level again and bowling that quickly and with that skill and accuracy. So that's a real exciting one. If you look at the history of sort of World Cups in recent past and performances in England, and if you look at sort of even how England set their team up, England play two spinners all the time. Rashid and Ali play all the time. When Pakistan won the Champions Trophy in England a couple of years ago, they had 2 or 3 spinners. So whilst we feel that in England the ball will seam and swing and whatever, spin still have a part to play. So I'm quite sure that there's a space in our team for 2 spinners. We've sort of settled at the moment on Tahir and Shamsi, but there's still a lot of time between now and then as well.
How much emphasis are you putting on this Australia tour?
We want to win. We want to go there with the attitude of trying to win, and therefore the squad that we pick will reflect that. It will also reflect, I guess, our sort of feeling on the formula, the way that we want to play cricket. There's a lot been said about positive and all the rest of it. We played in Sri Lanka in the first 3 games, and one of my friends who was a South African sort of he's a South African and he's a South African cricket fan, and he said it's a little bit un-South African to be trying to play so many shots so early, and you need to build an innings and whatever, but you can still build an innings being positive, which we did in the first couple of games, you know. And the key there then becomes having the will to stick with it when things get tough. You know, if you believe that that's what you want, that's the way you want to play, and that's the way that's going to get you success, then even when things aren't going so well, you still have to be able to go out and back yourself and back what you're trying to do, and make sure that you keep trying to do it all the time, even when you're under pressure. You know, I think that's the only way that we're going to really move forward as a batting group. And obviously within that, you're going to have there will be mistakes and stuff like that, and you just have to take those on the chin, as long as you believe that what you're doing is the right thing, and then make sure that you do it better next time. You know, it then all comes down to execution and guys playing the situation of the game, because sometimes the situation of the game dictates how you need to play. You know, and guys must be able to adapt to that.